Breaking news, the OG cast members, the veterans of Vanderpump Rules have officially gotten their walking papers fresh off the heels of Schwartz and Sandy's being announced as closing. We have a reboot that's coming. We have Erika Jayne calling out Sutton and Garcelle. We have a Lisa Hochstein divorce update and so much more. Get ready. Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. I hope you are... you might be shaken with the news of Vanderpump Rules coming to an end, or at least the era that we knew, right? So this morning, I saw a bunch of people starting to report on the Vanderpump Rules news about how it's going to be canceled. I saw a bunch of content creators. I even okay, I'm going to call out Donna Bowling. I love you, Donna, but I texted her this morning because she posted it to her Instagram stories. Oh, news is coming. Vanderpump Rules is going to be canceled. And I literally texted her. I was like, why would you post low budget tea? I was like, you know better than to post these speculative rumors, right? Last week, somebody was saying that, Vanderpump Rules is filming again in mid-January and all of the cast is back and it's going to be the final season and it's going to be a shorter season and all this stuff, right? There's all this speculation that's been going around forever. Rachel Levis's publicist was teasing that she might be coming back to the show. Everybody was putting out these low budget crumbs and rumblings of what may be happening, what may be not happening. A lot of it was speculation. Everybody claims that they had sources on the inside, but the reality is the cast didn't even know what was going on. That's why I was I'm not running with any of these low budget rumors because the show, it doesn't make sense. And I was I'm not reporting anything on Vanderpump Rules until there is something definitive about Vanderpump Rules that we can see that is, an official statement from the network. Well, then next thing you know we got an official statement from the network. And guess what? The news is not that the show is canceled, okay? I know because there was another content creator that I was chatting with this morning. And she was like, oh, I've heard this news. And I was like, don't run with it. Don't post it until we know it's certain and official. And she was going to post that the show has been canceled. And that's not the case. The news is, and Bravo has officially released this statement in the press. I believe Us Weekly was the first one to break the news, followed by TMZ, who had statements from the network. And so the news is that Vanderpump Rules will be rebooted for the 12th season. So the first 11 seasons had the veteran cast members. There were a bunch of different rumors that were going around that part of it was due to the budget and the cast members getting too expensive. We were hearing that Lala and Ariana weren't fully signed on. Just a lot of different... if you watched, and I just rewatched it last night, if you watched it's so funny that I watched the final scene of the finale, the last season's finale. I watched it last night because when I want to feel something, I watch the montage like a balloon, and they're showing all the flashbacks. It does look like it was a series finale. It looked like that was the end of it. And the network was kind of like, listen, whatever, the show is moving forward. At the end of the day, this is the end. This is a conclusion to that chapter of Vanderpump Rules. And now here we are. It is the end of that chapter of Vanderpump Rules, and now it's moving on. But now they're going in the RHONY reboot direction, which I don't know if that's the wisest move to make, considering I don't know if the RHONY reboot is a success. I think when you have a show that is so successful, like RHONY, like Vanderpump Rules, that really hooked people in the early seasons, trying to reboot that with the same name is challenging because then it's always going to be compared to the original. And I think that's why the new RHONY isn't landing with the audience, because there isn't there's too much comparison to the original RHONY, which is why I always said they should, rather than they should just create an entirely new show. I always said that this reiteration of RHONY should have been Real Housewives of Manhattan, right? Manhattan just has a different feel outside of New York City. I know a lot of people are like, well, the women aren't all in Manhattan. They're in New York City. It's well, yeah, well, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills aren't all in Beverly Hills. You know, Yolanda was in Malibu. Erika lived in Pasadena. Kyle and Dorit currently live in Encino. Erika doesn't live in Beverly Hills now. Garcelle doesn't live in Beverly. Like Garcelle lives way out. I don't think any of them actually live in Beverly Hills. And granted, when the show first started, like, yes, you had Lisa Vanderpump and Camille Grammer and what was Camille in Beverly Hills? Lisa was, Adrian was, Taylor was, because they were all kind of in the same street. But yeah, like it's just the name. And even when RHONY first began, it was originally called Manhattan Moms. So it would have made more sense had they just rebranded the show as Real Housewives of Manhattan and let it let it find its footing with the new audience, letting them know that it's a similar but new show, a similar but different cast. But it's not landing, right? Because you're always going to compare it to the original. So that's kind of my fear with Vanderpump Rules. I feel like there's another announcement coming and there's a spinoff that's going to be coming, but uncertain what is going to happen with that. Yeah, uncertain, but we have gotten a few cast member reactions. I think who would get the reboot? I think Sheena's going to move over to the Valley. I think Lala will probably eventually move over to the Valley. We'll probably get some James cameos. Like, I think eventually that cast will start to integrate into the Valley. Maybe not James. I think James is done with reality television. I think at this point, James is going to go and live his best DJ life. Like, he's smart because he built a career for himself outside of the show. Schwartz, I'm concerned for because Schwartz and Sandoval just closed down Schwartz and Sandy's. They just announced that yesterday. I would imagine and I assume that that is partially in relation to, like, that was probably the final nail in the coffin for why they decided to close Schwartz and Sandy's, because it struggles without the show, right? The novelty of these restaurants are the show. The thing with Sir and Tom Tom, they're on that main strip of restaurants and they're right on Santa Monica Boulevard. You know, Sir's right around the corner. It's right across the street from Chiconi's and Gracias Madre and Craig's. Like, it's all in that little strip, right? So Sir, I think, is in a good location for restaurants, especially because, like, if you're coming to LA and you want to do like the destination Vanderpump Rules thing, you know, maybe you might not be able to get a table at Craig's because that's the more, you know, that's the celebrity go-to spot. Or, you know, maybe you're not going to be able to pay the prices at Chiconi's, so you'll do Sir. You know, it's a little bit more affordable. It's more of the fan place to go to. So I think Sir is solid with or without the show because Lisa Vanderpump has become a celebrity in her own right, and it's still her spot. Pump was a great spot until they lost it. Tom Tom is right on the Santa Monica Strip. So people are constantly like, there's traffic down the Santa Monica Strip all the time because that's where everybody bar hops. You have all the bars there. You have the New Orleans bar, you have Rocco's, you have Beaches, you have Stash, you have Motherlode. Like, all of the spots are there. Heather McDonald's always talks about Craig's. Yeah, Craig's is like the celebrity go-to spot, but it's relatively small and getting a table is not always easy. And yeah, it's the celebrity go. It's where celebrities go if they want to be seen because there's always going to be paparazzi there and they're always going to find someone. So yeah, Sir is literally like a block down from Craig's, and Craig's is across the street from Gracias Madre, and Sir is across the street from Chiconi's. I actually love Chiconi's. Chiconi's is a great spot. One of my faves. Actually, I will say it has gone down in recent years. Like, I remember I went there for my birthday last year, and it was awful. Like, the service was bad, the food was bad. Like, and I normally love Chiconi's, but I was very disappointed the last two times that I went. Just saying. Stacy says the best formula is when the group already knows each other and has history. Well, that's what was the magic of Vanderpump Rules, and that's why none of these other shows, Lohan Beach Club, What Happens at the Abbey, like all of those other shows, very Cavallari, never really took off because there wasn't that magic. Like, Vanderpump Rules was lightning in a bottle, and it was new. It was a fresh idea, right? So I feel like it's gonna struggle to have the reboot find its footing, and I don't know if I care to get to know a whole bunch of new servers. I just don't know if that's of interest to me, to be honest. I think we loved the OGs, we loved the friendships that they had, and it's gonna be hard to, you know, Danny's laughing at Lohan Beach Club. Well, that's the thing though, is like everybody tried to copy the model of Vanderpump Rules. Candy's what was it, Old Lady Gang? That didn't go anywhere. Leva, I mean, Southern Hospitality seems to be doing okay. But that I think has a really good, strong, messy cast. I'm not watching it, but I think they have a strong cast and they have the lead in of Southern Charm. So if people like Southern Charm, then they're gonna, give Southern Hospitality a try. I don't know if it's doing all that well. I personally don't care to watch it, but Lohan is in Lindsay Lohan. Yeah. On MTV, she had a reality show called Lohan's Beach House, Lohan's Beach Club. And it was like a Vanderpump Rules model. And she was like, I'm a bad bitch. It was funny. Like she couldn't snap. She's like, I'm gonna keep everybody in check. And she was like all, before she like got her whole new face, right? Like Lindsay Lohan looks incredible. She like resurfaced recently and looks wild. What Vanderpump Rules new cast? Why? Yeah, so the old cast. Sorry, if you're just tuning in now, the old cast has been completely fired. And now they're rebooting the cast altogether. I mean, we knew that they were shopping around this reboot because they were doing test shots. The show has not officially gone into production, but they did, I believe, film a pilot or a presentation for the network to review. The network reviewed it, and it looks like the network decided that was going to be the better investment and that they were going to greenlight that. Again, yes, the Lohan Beach Club was in Mykonos. But again, I think I am pretty sure there will be another Vanderpump Rules spinoff coming. That's my prediction. I don't have any tea. I just think that they're not going to completely try to loot. Like they just saw the success of the Valley and they're probably going to try to do something. I don't think they'll be able to build a spinoff around the Toms because Schwartz and Sandy's is done. But I'm pretty sure that's part of what was the final nail in the coffin for Schwartz and Sandy's because because without the show, like it's not going to carry on very strong. I would imagine something about her goes under next because again, just the sandwich shop, the location that it was in. It's funny because I was fighting with my friend Jacques last night because he will like ride to the end of time for something about her. And I'm just like, guys, like it's mediocre at best. It's fine. They're decent sandwiches. Like they're not great. Like I wouldn't say they're exceptional sandwiches. I went there one time, but like to me, I'm like, you have to wait in line. The boutique is really tiny. It's just like it's a small little sandwich shop. It's cute. The decor is very cute. The staff is very friendly. The food is mediocre. It's not exceptional, and once the luster of Vanderpump Rules wears off, I mean, who knows how often Katie and Ariana are even really there now, and once that luster wears off, like it's gonna go under, unfortunately. Cassie says, I don't think something about her was ever going to be super successful. It wasn't until Scandal happened and everybody fell in love with Ariana, and then everybody went there because they wanted to support and ride for Ariana. But it's not it's not even Lisa Vanderpump. She was a little concerned when they were going into that business because she's like, they're going to need to sell a lot of sandwiches to stay alive. And that's true. And I think, again, they're only doing well because of the novelty and everybody wants to support Ariana. But overall, like, and Jacques was like, the food's amazing and it's so cool that you can turn sandwiches into salads. I'm like, babe, I've been making sandwiches and burgers into salads for like the last 12 years. Welcome to Los Angeles. Nothing special. The food is not exceptional. Schwartz and Sandy's, I will say the food was good. I enjoyed having dinner at Schwartz and Sandy's. Their steak frites, so good. Their thick fries, delicious. The lobster corn dogs, as sus as that sounds, the lobster corn dogs were actually delicious. The food was good. The drinks were fine. I wouldn't say they were like amazing drinks. I didn't really drink I don't drink specialty cocktails off the menu often. So I'm probably not the best person to judge that. I do like that something about her has wine and Loverboy. I'm not going to spend, $8 on a can of Loverboy for 6% alcohol. Give me the wine. Give me that 12%. But like, you use lettuce. That's the secret. Yes. When you turn a sandwich into a salad, the secret is you put it on lettuce and it helps you cut carbs. Groundbreaking. Sorry, Jacques, I love you, but we were talking about this last night. He's like, you're just a hater on something about her. I was like, I wanted to like it. And it's not that I hate it. I don't hate it. It's just not that exceptional. When you're in West Hollywood and there's a Bottega Louie around the corner, if I'm going to go to West Hollywood and have lunch, I would rather have lunch at Bottega Louie. I'd rather have an overpriced salad at Bottega Louie or go down to, get the goat cheese balls at Sir and have lunch there. Or like, it's a boring fucking sandwich. Or I can go to Zinke 2 blocks over. love Zinke. I have a Zinke here in downtown that I used to go to all the time until I moved. But like sorry, not sorry. It's not that exceptional of a place. But so okay, so we do have some cast reactions, but um Schwartz and Sandy's, they got some reactions from their cast. And then I'll read you the reactions for Vanderpump Rules. But because they announced that they're closing again, I would imagine it's partially due to the fact that there isn't the show anymore. And I think they were already struggling with the show being on pause. So Ida says, maybe because it's so small, it's easier to run and make a profit. If they profit, they will stay open, mediocre or not. Yes, but the point that I'm trying to make is that they're making a profit right now, but it's off of the novelty of the show, not because the place is good. Yes, it is small, but you have to understand the rent in West Hollywood, where they're at in that location, right off of Santa Monica, that's not cheap rent. Why do you think Sutton closed her store? And now she's all online or appointment only. Which, I mean, come on, who's really making an appointment to go to, Sutton Concept? Like, let's be real. But like, yeah, you can shop online and it saves you the overhead. Sutton's store is not that far from, Sir and where Something About Her is. My point is the overhead is ridiculously expensive. Like, that is not cheap rent. And West Hollywood, like, will fist you, with all the money that they'll try to milk you out of for trying to stay alive. That's why Pump was at the corner of the block that Something About Her is on, and Pump couldn't stay alive because it got too expensive. So, and Pump has alcohol, they have cocktails, they have happy hour, they have a full menu. I don't imagine, it's going to do that well for that long. But anyway, so these are some of the reactions that some of the Vanderpump Rules cast members had to Schwartz and Sandy's closing. Katie said, I have an idea. It rhymes with Katie Maloney's Bar and Grill. Just kidding. I look forward to what's next for you. Talking to Tom Schwartz. Kristen Doty also commented on Tom Schwartz's saying, love you, Tommy. So proud of you. Sheena said, I'm really sorry to hear this. I know you guys gave this your absolute all, and you should be proud of that. This place was beyond the coolest aesthetic in all of LA. It was. Schwartz and Sandy's was a great spot, not a great location. Like the vibe, the drinks, the food, all of it was great, not a great location. And I think that's what hurt the vibe of it overall is like it was never really poppin'. And it was never really poppin' because, it's just getting there is not the most convenient place to go, And I feel like the locals were going to go to Birds, or they were going to go to the wine bar that was on that same block rather than going to Schwartz and Sandy's, because Schwartz and Sandy's, the vibe was just a little more West Hollywood. It was a little more pretentious in Franklin Village. Kyle Cook said, you gave it your all, something to be proud of. Sometimes the stars don't align and the journey is full of learning lessons, but the biggest regret of all would have been not trying in the first place. Hats off to you guys for putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something and actually running your own business where there's no risk, there's no reward. Love you, buddy. And Brittany said, so sorry, Tom, we love you. And it's true, I feel bad for Schwartz more than anything because I feel like with Schwartz, he really, really, really put it all out there. But then Vanderpump Rules. So the announcement of Vanderpump Rules, Andy Cohen says, these were the best days of our lives in reaction to the reboot news and the OG cast getting fired. We have Katie Maloney Baloney says she posted a throwback photo with the Raise Your Glass song. Just raise your glasses high. This one's for you tonight. And Katie said, it's a mixed bag, but I wouldn't change a thing. Thank you for the memories and the love the last 11 years. And she posted her very first cast photo. Wow, she was so young there. Like they were just like, they had baby faces, Lala Kent says, where to begin? I was a young girl from Salt Lake City who made her way to LA. I would introduce myself as Lauren, but because my childhood best friend referred to me as Lala, my nickname quickly stuck. Sir was a place that became home. I found myself not only sipping on vodka sodas there, but behind a hostess stand. It still to this day is the most intimidating job I've ever had. A short time later, the opportunity to be on a show called Vanderpump Rules landed in front of me. I had such mixed feelings right now. It's no secret. It's no secret I do not like change. This is the exception. I want to say thank you for rocking with us for so many years. The show changed my whole life. I'm unbelievably grateful for every moment. I'm unbelievably grateful for Bravo, for NBC, for our crew, the entire cast, and most importantly, all of you. We rocked this bitch until the wheels fell off, which is so sad. It's so sad, you know? And yes, Kristen Doty, unfortunately, her news was overshadowed by all of this, but she decided today that she was going to announce that she's pregnant. So congrats to Kristen Doty. She announced it via People that she is preggers, and good for her, but like it completely got overshadowed by the closing of Schwartz and Sandy's and by the firing of the veterans on Vanderpump Rules and this reboot news. But it's like, it's so interesting that they took this direction because even Bethany was going on ranting on TikTok about how them doing this to RHONY was a really dumb idea. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if any of them, the only one that really came out on top, I'm going to say it. Put your guesses in the comments below. Who do you think is the one of all of the cast members, season 1 to season 11? Who do you think really came out on tippity top top? I'll tell you right now, it was not Ariana. I'll tell you right now, the one who came out on top the most, Stassi Schroeder, without a doubt. Stassi Schroeder. She has such a like people love Ariana because they wanted to rally behind her after Tom cheated on her with Raquel. Like that's the real reason people rally behind Ariana, not because she had a great personality, not because they really enjoyed her. Like here's the thing: in 2 years, if Ariana decides to write a book, are people really going to care? Stassi's written 3 New York Times bestsellers that people showed up for in lines to have her sign, get photos with her. She just signed a 7-figure podcast deal. That's not a DSW deal. That's not a Roxy on Chicago. That's not a Love Island hosting gig. I mean, listen, we even saw after the height of the Hills, Kristen Cavallari had her moment, right? Where she was doing hosting gigs and like she was trying to find her footing outside of the popularity of the Hills right after that. And then eventually she kind of, went under and then she came back with Barry Cavallari and now she's a podcaster and people really like her in that forum. But I would say it's not comparable to Stassi Schroeder. Like if Podcast One is going to come to you and pay you a 7-figure deal on top of, the big announcement of her making a cameo on the next season of Vanderpump Villa, on top of her getting her own Hulu spinoff show. Like nobody's offering Ariana a spinoff on any show. Like even Love Island, like capitalized off of the popularity of Scandival by and Dancing with the Stars. All of those shows capitalized off of the popularity of Scandival by bringing in Ariana because she was the heroine of that story. She was the hero. She had the hero story arc. Everybody loved her. Everybody wanted to rally around her. Everyone wanted to see her succeed. So everyone tuned in for that. I don't know because she's so overexposed and doing every little thing, I think that that's ultimately going to end up hurting her in the end. Because when you're the face of every campaign, when you're doing all of these different shows, then eventually brands don't look at that as like, oh, we want you too. They look at that as like, oh, well, you're the face of everything else. What is going to be unique about making you the face of our brand, of making you the face of our show? The novelty will wear off if she doesn't play her cards smart. She, I trust, has a strong team behind her. Listen, they got her these great gigs that I trust that will eventually carry her on. But I stand by Stassi Schroeder is the one to come out on top because she got canceled, she got fired, and she had nothing. And she rebuilt everything from the ground up. And a foundation like that is strong. It is so strong because that audience behind Stassi is loyal. They bought out all 3 of her books. They went to her live podcast shows. They got her this big podcast deal. They got her own spinoff on Hulu. Like Stassi Schroeder, if anything, I would say came out the biggest winner. And I'm glad she never came back to Vanderpump Rules because I think that would have hurt her more than it would have helped her. She's elevated beyond the show. Jen says, sorry, never liked Ariana, hated what happened to her, but never liked her. She was boring and stuck up. I mean, that's what people forget is she wasn't the most likable on the show. I personally like her because of the interactions that I've had with her in person. I enjoy her. She's very sweet. I think, she's kind and fun. Yeah. Katie is always miserable. Yeah, Katie was always kind of miserable, if I'm being honest. Ariana's completely overexposed. She is. And listen, I get it. Like, you need to strike when the iron's hot. I'm not even mad at her for doing all of this and taking on all these deals, but she has to start to play her cards smart so that down the line she doesn't completely, overdo it. Because eventually, people um will completely, like, it'll end up backfiring on her. People will lose interest. James pulled it off too. James is smart too, because James built a career for himself as a DJ and kept that going on the show and off the show. And here's the thing about delusion, right? You need to be a little delulu. So when James is out here thinking that he's Steve Aoki and he's Calvin Harris and he's Zed, when he's out there thinking like he's the top DJ, that didn't hurt him, right? I mean, maybe some people saw the show and laughed at him, but like the reality is that Delulu land that he was living in ultimately really helped carry him over to this next chapter that he's now in, because he sold us on the fact that he is a DJ and he's playing all these festivals and whatnot. God, Raquel, so stupid. So he's doing the damn thing, and he'll move past the days when him and Logan were exchanging blowies in the Sir bathroom. Susie says, Stassi and Ariana are book do a show together sometime in 2025. I saw it on their stories. I don't think they're doing a show together. I don't think they talk to each other. Zack, you have the best Sandy Balls impression. God, man. Didn't he open for Cascade? Good for James. Yeah, listen, he was smart. He did the damn thing, He played it smart. He even didn't go too big. He got a very modest house in the valley. Was he in Burbank by the airport? Affordable, modest, smart. Very smart, and he can continue to build from there. Little worried for Sheena and Ariana, or sorry, for Sheena and Lala, who just bought their new house. I mean, even Ariana, I think Ariana may be able to make it stretch with all the deals that she's got coming in. She can pay off the house, but like Sheena and Lala invested in their new houses in the Valley, a little worried for them. Sheena, we're going to see on the new season of the Valley. We'll see if Lala ultimately transitions over, but we shall see. Lorraine says, I think Ariana is a lot darker and calculated than we know. I don't know. Zack, did you hear rumblings of this? I didn't pay attention to any of it, because at the end of the day, like, it's, they're all low budget rumors. We've heard a bunch of different things left and right. So I kind of just tuned out the noise, and I was like, I'm not going to put anything out there until we have things that are definitive, because at this point, it's all just speculation. It's all just rumors, and I'm tired of all that. And the rumors and the lies. Cassie says, I know Lala's trying to brand outside of the show, but I wonder how successful she'll be without VPR. I mean, she's pretty successful with her give them Lala beauty, give them Lala skin, give them Lala. Like, and that audience seems to be loyal to her on or off the show, right? So it seems like I mean, her podcast seems to be doing well. It will be interesting to see some of them in their podcasts and where they go from here, because people really only cared about them talking about the show and giving us the tea about the show and the behind the scenes of the show. So at the end of the day, when they don't have the show anymore, at least Lala's trying to build the podcast around her family, and she's trying to build, she's doing Amazon Lives. And I think that's helping people feel connected with her. Like Sheena doing her vlogs on YouTube, I thought was really smart, because she can build an audience that will continue to be interested in her life and her family life, right? Whereas Katie Maloney is going to be living off of bologna sandwiches in 2 years if she doesn't figure out what her next step is going to be. I don't know what Katie Maloney bologna is going to do. I really don't. If something about her goes under, Ariana's not going to give a fuck, number one. And number two, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Zack, are you okay? Give them Lala Beauty. Yeah, it does give them Lala Beauty. It exists. I know, because I've shopped it before. But she was rebranding it, remember? From Give Them Lala to just Give Them Beauty, Give Them Skin. Oh, she doesn't have Give Them Baby anymore. She still has Beauty and she still has Skin. Yeah. Give Them is still around. So we'll see. I heard that Lala's makeup wasn't great quality. I mean, I've shopped the brand before and it was fine. You know, it was fine. I didn't see any issues with it. Her mascara clumps. Maybe. I mean, listen, a lot of people, you have to remember that a lot of the reviews that people were putting out there were in part due to, I mean, I get it all the time. I'm not a ratings darling. People will just make shit up in the reviews about my podcast because they just want to be mean, you know? So, yeah. Jen loves the gloss. See, there you go. I mean, yeah. It would, if I would give Lala advice, is her packaging is awful. It's not a good design. It's not eye appealing at all. Yeah. Lala's beauty is Ed. The best makeup is Jeffree Star. I've heard that. I know my friend Jacques loves Jeffree Star. He like went to an event and got all this skincare from Jeffree Star. So yeah. I mean, listen, but Jeffree Star is somebody that's been in the game for a very long time and has had a specialty in makeup. Not as a makeup artist, but as somebody that has always been interested in makeup and used it for a very long time. So I love that everyone is texting me the news. I'm like, guys, like when people DM me and they're like, "Oh my god, did you hear the news?" And I'm like, "Guys, did you forget what my job is? I have to stay tuned into the news 24/7. The second it breaks, if I'm 3 minutes behind the story, I've already lost the plot." So I just love when people, or I love when it's like 2 days later and people send me the text message and I'm like, "No way." I blame Sandoval for this. No, I blame Ariana for this, to be honest with you. I think people, the group just got so like Ariana had the power in the group to bring everybody back together. If we're looking at it strictly from like a show lens through a producer lens, right? I think Ariana fractured the group more than anything because she kept the group separate. Now, from a personal perspective, I understand where she was coming from. But from a show perspective, no, I don't blame Sandoval because Sandoval was still willing to show up and have these conversations and have these confrontations on camera that I think it would have continued to gain interest of people from the audience. Like people, if we would have kept Sandoval the villain, people would have stayed engaged to continue to see him. Because like, listen, people are going to watch him on the Traitors and people are looking forward to what? Him getting banished on the Traitors because people are interested in seeing him continue to get whipped on camera. That's why when, there were those tiny moments where him and Ariana did have those interactions, people loved it and they were rallying behind Ariana. Or when Sheena was getting, or not Sheena, when Lala was getting in, Sandoval's face on the boat, it gave people something to talk about. So I think Ariana hurt the show more than anything. And I stand by, defending Lala and all of it because Lala was right. Like Ariana didn't want to engage with Tom Sandoval. She wanted to draw a line in the sand. She said she was going to be friends with people if they were friends with Tom Sandoval. From a personal perspective, I get where Ariana was coming from and her boundaries and her feelings and all of that. I get that. But we're not in the real world. We're on a reality show where your job is to create an entertaining show. It doesn't need to be fully disingenuous, but like the reality is you're on a reality show, like the Kardashians when they broke the fourth wall. So sorry, not sorry. Stand by it. I know you're gonna be mad and you're gonna drag me in the comments. How many fucks do I give? 0, 0, none, not one. Remember when I said all of this a few months ago and I lost like 1,000 followers on Instagram because I was like, yo, guys, I think Lala is actually the voice of reason. And everybody flipped out and I lost all these followers. I've since gained it back and then some. Eat my asshole. Kenny G says, what do you think the VPR reboot? Yeah, that was the announcement that they're rebooting the show with the whole new cast for season 12. So, yeah. That's why everyone that's like, oh, but Lala was forced and Sheena was forced and they were pandering to the show and they were playing to the show. Guess who also plays to the show that you guys love to eat out? Sutton and Garcelle. They're the least authentic people on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I'm glad that Erika Jayne called him out for it. So let's move on to that because I don't think you're ready for that conversation. You're like, I don't like fake reality stars. Lisa Rinna was trying too hard. Hello. Sutton Stracke is the most try hard. And Garcelle, the most try hard. They don't show anything about their lives. They're so curated. And like, that's why people have, no real memorable moments to name of Garcelle's. How many quotes of Garcelle's do you use on a daily basis? Listen, sorry to break it to you, but own it, baby. Own it. Okay? Time to let the mouse go and fire Garcelle. Brittany says, serious question, Zack. Could Jess, the assistant, make Lala sign an NDA too? And that's why it's not talked about. Can two people who hire or work together both sign NDAs? Yes, but it's not standard. Usually when you're working with somebody that's high profile, like a reality star, they're making you sign the NDA because there's a protection against them. There's not really a need to protect yourself, as the assistant, because, what are the chances that the celeb is going to go and, talk about you, So, yeah. Garcelle has showed us so much of her kids were cyberbullied. Sutton has talked about her dad's death, her abusive marriage. Erika's life was all fake. Okay. Sorry to break it to you. We don't see Sutton's kids. Garcelle's lucky that she has her kids to lean on. Garcelle's kids being cyberbullied, that was her best storyline. That was literally a footnote of a reunion. And when Diana Jenkins paid all that money to subpoena Meta so that they were able to track down the person, and Diana Jenkins found an IP address to help Garcelle solve that investigation, guess what? Garcelle had nothing. She was like, just wait, I'm going to release the findings of my investigations. Just wait, I'm going to tell you who did it. Just wait, I have my own investigation going on. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Guess what, baby? It never came. The cum shot never landed. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? It was a fake investigation that, yeah, because Garcelle will give up her kids, but yet give us nothing of her. No, she went on Bumble. That was compelling. Because Sutton's ex-husband did not want the kids on the show until they were 18. Yeah, listen, and I get it, but I understand that there are barriers that prevent Sutton from sharing her real life, but that doesn't make what I'm saying any less true. Kari says, I find Garcelle boring because she is boring. Name me Garcelle's top 5 moments on the show, please. Or give me her top 5. She's been on the show, what, 4 or 5 years now? 4 or 5 seasons at this point. What are the quotes that you use of Garcelle? Sutton at least has memorable moments. Name them, let the mouse go, ugly leather pants, vodka in her purse. She has moments that we remember of Sutton's, right? But okay, not bad. That's always nice. Yeah. So I mean, come on, give me. I'm wait. Somebody, please name me Garcelle's top 5 moments or top best quotes that you use on the regs. Teddy is the gnat. Okay, Teddy the gnat, groundbreaking. How often are you using that? Ugly leather pants, vodka in her purse. Yeah, that's Sutton. That's the brand that Sutton has built. She's the pot stir. Sutton Stracke is the new Lisa Rinna, and some of you just aren't ready for that conversation. It's true. She is boring, but she does keep conversations going. For example, I found Robin Dixon and Teddy much worse. I think Garcelle's one of the worst castings on Beverly Hills. We saw Erika's life crumble in front of our eyes and her rebuilding it, and Garcelle gave us what storyline exactly? Right? Thank you, Elena. I agree with you. Erika's life crumbled, and as it was crumbling, Garcelle was kicking the bitch in the teeth on the floor. And everyone was like, yeah, Erika, take down. Garcelle's never been called a mean girl. God forbid you'll be racist if you call her a mean girl. She is a mean girl. Every time Kyle's marriage, when she's like, is your husband cheating on you? Is it a makeup ring? Kyle's marriage in shambles and Garcelle's there kicking her in the teeth. Erika's marriage and life up in flames, kicking her in the teeth. I'm sure this season, Dorit, she's going to be kicking her in the teeth. The biggest bullies and mean girls on Real Houses of Beverly Hills are Garcelle and Sutton. They've always been, sorry, not sorry. At the right time, Jennifer Tilly will outshine her friend Sutton. Jennifer has one of the most fascinating lives. She's quirky. I'm interested, right? Kenzie says Garcelle's shade isn't even that good. Listen, Everyone says, ooh, Garcelle's so shady. Ooh, Garcelle's so shady. Oh, look at, when Dorit was going through her robbery, she was kicking Dorit in the teeth. She's like, I don't know, you still had all your jewelry. Sorry, your kids were down the hall while there was a gun to your head. But like, I don't know. I have questions. I'm going to ask questions. It's like, who says that and gets away with that? Imagine if Lisa Rinna did that. Everybody's coochies would be on fire. They would be losing their minds. Again, some of y'all are not ready for these conversations. I understand that it's going to break your brains. But on that note, Erika is calling them out and saying that she would like them to share their real lives. See, reality TV lover says, I like Garcelle, just not on Real Houses of Beverly Hills. I agree with you. That's the thing. She's a nice lady, right? She's a sweet woman. I've met her. She's been very lovely to me. So it's nothing about her personally. It's just on the show, she's not interesting. So, you know, it is what it is. Stacy says, oh my God, I'm here for your dirty one-liners. Do I have dirty one-liners? What are my dirty ones? Oh, the cum shot? Yeah. Listen, I got better reads than Garcelle. I got better shade than Garcelle. It's more of like a Duracell battery. Like it's just kind of there. You don't know when it's going to go out, but it keeps on going. And you're just like, damn, when can we change the damn batteries? We need to change the Duracell. Elena says, Garcelle's not even shady. She just makes nasty comments when someone is down. That's the thing. She always kicks you when you're down. That's literally the whole, and nobody ever calls her a mean girl. That's what's so wild to me, you know? Lisa Rinna took a lot of heat and Garcelle is devious. She drops a bomb of info and runs and lets others explain. Yeah, everyone dragged Teddy for outing. Well, actually, everyone's dragging Kyle for outing Brandy and Denise when Teddy was really the one that outed Brandy and Denise. But like, yeah, Garcelle never gets held to that fire. Ever. Marcus says, I just don't like the double standards. Kyle basically said Sutton faked 2 miscarriages. And then when Sutton was mean to her back, it's Sutton so mean. He never said Sutton faked 2 miscarriages. She was just saying Diana Jenkins just had a miscarriage. Let's have her moment. And Sutton's historically done that, right? When Dorit went through a robbery, Sutton's like, oh, I'm having a hard day too. I couldn't get my designer flown in. So Sutton's kind of known for like not being in touch, but that's kind of what we like in a housewife sometimes. So I'll kind of defend that a little bit. Reality TV lover says, I'm ready for these conversations. I will DM you. The audience needs to be ready for these conversations, right? OMG, MG, MG. Not today, Satan. Not today. But you guys know that I have been loving BioRay supplements. To me, for me, my family's been taking BioRay for, I feel like it's been 12 years now. It's definitely been over a decade. And you know, I've been pimping them out. You know that I've been sharing their new Raised by BioRay Teens line. Great for the whole family. And so if you want to empower your wellness with BioRay essentials for a healthier, more balanced life, from liver detox to immune support and energy boosting formulas, guess what? BioRay's got you covered with everything you need to support yours and your family's health and wellness. Don't wait for the new year. Stock up this weekend. They're kicking off their biggest sale of the year, 30% off site-wide, okay? 30% off site-wide starting this Friday, November 29th. It'll launch at 12 a.m. Pacific, and it'll run all throughout the weekend, ending on December 2nd, which is Monday. So you have from Friday to Monday, Black Friday to Cyber Monday. BioRay wants you to empower your wellness this season. And even better, they gave me a special code, Zack, Z-A-C-K. If you use code Zack this weekend, if you use it right now, you'll get 10% off. But if you wait for this weekend and you can use code Zack for their Black Friday special, you'll get an additional free shipping. So you get 30% off site-wide, all BioRay products, from their Liver Lover, which is one of my favorites, their Thinking Cap, which is one of my favorites for staying focused, their Life is Peachy from the Raise line, helps me not be, a raging sugar rampage vampire or monster, really. I love BioRay products. So I'm telling you right now, take advantage of their 30% off site-wide offer for Black Friday. Promo runs from Friday, November 29th to Monday, December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. So you have Friday to Monday to stock up and empower your wellness at BioRay.com. That's BioRay.com. Use code Zack, Z-A-C-K, code Zack, and you'll get free shipping in addition to that 30% off. So go right now. I like to make sure, listen, with the coffee that I drink and the cocktails that I like, I need their liver lover supplements. And it's good. I love it. I love BioRay. BioRay.com, code Zack, Z-A-C-K. Okay. Okay, so let's talk. Erika did call out Garcelle and Sutton, basically saying, like, listen, I've laid it all out there. My entire life has been out there for the past couple of seasons. She says that she would like Sutton and Garcelle to reveal their real lives. She feels as if nothing is as it appears and that they play to what the fans want to see rather than their own lives. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. Even Chef Stu was commenting. He's like, I don't know. I think, Garcelle's very open about her life. And I'm like, what are you talking about? First of all, she's so boring. She named a goldfish to read. Ooh, read. She went on Bumble. Ooh, slap. She had a cyber attack investigation, a cyberbullying investigation that went literally nowhere because it was all fake. Listen, at least Sutton's interesting because she's quirky and she's messy and she's her vodka, but her life is kind of boring. But at least she gets into the mix. All we have from Garcelle is we see her talk about her like latest TV movie, but it's like boring. Like there's nothing interesting to it. Her kids have carried the show more than she has. Give Jax the diamond. She has no memorable moments. I'm still waiting for somebody to name one of her memorable quotes, and nobody has because dun writings on the wall. At least from Kyle, we have "You're such a fucking liar, Camille." We have "He will never emotionally fulfill you." The scene with the psychic and the cigarette. We have the limo scene of "You stole my goddamn house," and then she's like, "You're an alcoholic," and now everybody knows it. And she was like charging at Kim in the limo. Her whole relationship with Kim has been the center of the show for how many seasons now? So yeah, oh my god, Adam always calls me when I'm live. Damn it. But yeah, Kyle's been at the center of the show. Even lately, the show centers around Kyle. We have Erika. We have or what? We have Pat the Puss. Tom's house is broken into, and he confronted the burglar, and then had to go have eye surgery. And my son went over to check on him and flipped his car on the way 5 times on the way home. So yeah, I'm under a lot of stress. It's expensive to be meh. We had the whole Girardi scandal that dominated at least 2 seasons of the show. We have Sutton, name them, let the mouse go, ugly leather pants, even Dorit, because people want to be like, well, Dorit didn't bring anything either. Dorit gave us homeless, not toothless, okay? I worked with the homeless, I worked with the toothless. We would not have homeless, not toothless without Dorit. Okay. We have this season, Dorit smoking on camera. We have chic wind chimes because of Dorit. We have, if I can smell your breath, you're too close to me. They've all given us something. I literally can't even name a single memorable Garcelle moment. So, listen, she's got lots of great Zara fashions that, she does her thing. Oh, since everyone can see your little puss. Yep, Dorit gave us that too. She gave Erika the panties. See, season 1, Dorit was great. Her first season, she was wild. Ruthless and toothless. Yep. Didn't Dorit say pretty little puss? Yeah, she did to Erika. Erika cussing at Garcelle's son was kind of funny. Listen, when we take away the theatrics of that and like, oh my God, how dare you talk to a child like that? Like, I've always said, like, listen, my mom's friends, like, they'd all talk, like, I don't know. To me, I was like, not that. I rewatched the scene back because somebody did like a montage of like Beverly Hills' most savage moments, and that was in it. And like she was drunk and she was just like, why are the kids in here? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no more kids in here. This is not for the kids zone. It wasn't that deep. And she apologized for it. And like, listen, I think Mauricio laughing at it and Kyle laughing at it and PK, like, I think they laughed at it because that's a very real parent thing. I think it's just the outrage culture of the audience. Be like, oh my God, my pearls. Oh, how dare she? Everybody has their panties up in a bunch these days, and everybody just needs to breathe. Expensive to be me. It's icon. It's expensive to be me. It's just who I be. It's expensive to be me. Dorit gave us Chic and Erika gave us Pretty Little Puss. What Pretty Little Mess. Sydney says that scene was hilarious. Greg says, nah, that's crazy. Now this sounds like bias against Garcelle because the Erika and Garcelle song thing was wrong. Come on. What Erika Garcelle song thing? There was an Erika and Garcelle song thing? I didn't know about an Erika Garcelle. I just don't care for Garcelle. I think she panders to the audience. I don't think she's honest with her life. Erika iconic, Garcelle boring, no competition. Thank you, Rosanna. See, I'm glad we're all like coming, like we're breaking out of the matrix and coming into reality. People are now agreeing that Lala was kind of the voice of reason. Ariana did kind of fuck up Vanderpump Rules. Garcelle is kind of boring. Like, I'm like, what timeline did I enter into? Because now I feel like logic has re-entered. Oh, the Erika Garcelle son thing. I mean, listen, personally, it is what it is. They were high AF. They were high AF. I agree with you, Zach. She seems more TV-ish instead of being herself. Thank you, Jeanette. Jan says we are, but I still love Garcelle. Yeah, I mean, listen, you can like Garcelle. That's the thing. Like, I like Anne Marie, but I thought she was not a great cast on the show. I You can like somebody and still think that they're not great for the show and they don't work on the show. But now we have a new girl this season. We have Bose, and let's hope Bose brings something fun and interesting to the show. And let's hope the audience gives Bose a try too, right? I feel like they always want to like not give anybody a chance. Okay, let's move on. Andy Cohen and Carole Radziwill have squashed their beef. So Andy didn't give too many details, but at the Bravo Fan Fest in Miami, he claims that they've reconnected. He says that they were friends before Housewives. He's known her for a very long time, and their friendship far precedes Housewives, and so he's glad that they've been able to reconnect, which is good. I mean, Carole says that she agrees that their disagreements had more to do with the high pressure nature of the show, and she's happy that they're back on the same page. So I think this is good. Andy and Carole back on track. Guess who's back on track. Not Vanderpump, because they're gonna reboot and it's gonna flop. So yeah, good for Andy and Carole. Glad that they've reconnected. Good for them. Countess Luann. Okay, this was a funny story. So there was a report that came out in People Magazine or People Online, and Countess Luann recalls heavily making out with Hugh Grant in the Hamptons. I guess they were at like a restaurant together. And so Hugh Grant then responded, and he's like, I remember meeting a housewife like 15 years ago. He's like, but I don't remember taking shots or making out with her. And then Luann replied to him with like a literally crying, laughing gif. So I'm like, is this real? Did she make out with Hugh Grant? Because Hugh Grant's like, I don't remember, I remember meeting her, but I don't remember taking shots with her and making out with her. And then some people are like, well, if you were taking shots, you typically don't always remember what you did. So he's like, but listen, she may have a better memory than I did. Did anybody go to the Bravo Fan Fest? I'm curious what your thoughts were. So yeah. Erika had an affair with Oliver. She spoke about it briefly. Erika did not have an affair with Oliver. That's not true. She joked about it. She said that like she would hook up with Oliver, but like that was more of a joke. Joke, laugh, haha, funny, So yeah. Who knows if Countess Luann and Hugh Grant actually did hook up and actually did make out or not, but I wouldn't put it past him. Hamilton says, yeah, he's a ladies' man. I agree. Wouldn't put it past him. Last thing I wanted to talk about or touch on is Lisa Hochstein's divorce. Jeanette, Erika was joking. Yeah, she was joking. But so Lisa Hochstein, I shared yesterday how it was reported that she was awarded $15,000 per month in child support. And then I said that the judge made them abide by the prenup. And which is true. The judge did make them abide by the prenup, but they had an amended marital agreement. So they have changed the details. So the details of the prenup basically said that if they were together for 10 years, she would get 1.5 million plus 200,000 for every year after they remain together. So the payout, according to the original prenup, would have been 1.9 million. So she would have been walking away with just under 2 mil. Not bad, not great. A lot of people are like, that's really not that great. But she also, according to the original prenup, would have gotten to keep all of her original jewelry. She was fighting back, saying that yes, but he came into the marriage with 16 million, but there was a lot more money that was made that I helped him make and build his businesses. So she was fighting to keep that money because she wanted to make sure that, she was absolutely entitled to it. And so she has spoken out because obviously I posted my video about her um, prenup, and she's clarifying. She said she helps him build his businesses, and she said that their final settlement is required to be confidential, but just know it's much more than the original. So at a baseline, she was going to be walking away with 1.9 mil plus child support, and she was going to keep all of the gifts that were given to her throughout the duration of the marriage, like her engagement ring that was $110,000. But at the end of it all, she came up a lot richer. She was just going to get that one lump sum payout, but it looks like he may be paying her monthly. He may have given her a lot more than, what she was able to prove something, and they came to some sort of agreement, and he paid a settlement, but the details will have to stay confidential. So yeah, I think it did help to his benefit that he filed for divorce before she did. But she was, able to work something out, and she seems happy with whatever her settlement is. Why do you hate Ariana so much? I don't hate Ariana. I said if you paid attention, if you put your listening ears on, I said that I actually really like her on a personal level. She's sweet. She's fun to hang out with. From my interactions with her in person, she's been great. However, I thought that she really sucked on the show this past season. Not the biggest fan of hers this past season. Just because everybody wanted to rally around her because that was the popular thing to do. I don't often go for the popular thing. I go for whatever's honest to me. Sometimes that's a popular thing, and sometimes it's not. So, yeah. But just because I have critiques of the show, you realize this is my job. My job is to critique these things and to critique these shows, you know? Doesn't mean I hate them. I don't think there's anybody that I hate. I don't even hate Garcelle. I said she's very lovely. Any interaction that I've had with Garcelle in person, very lovely. Always enjoyed it. Criticism does not equal hate. Thank you, Janet. Somebody with their thinking cap on today. Rosanna says he does not hate Ariana. People need to listen. Thank you. And if you are listening to this, then please continue to give me reviews on Apple Podcasts. I love all those Apple Podcast reviews. I love all your comments on Spotify. You guys are always keeping that engagement strong, and I appreciate you for it. Let's see. Do we have any fun comments to read? Oh, here we go. Sarah says, I feel your opinion is very level-headed, and I enjoy your podcast. Thank you, Sarah. Alicia A says, hey, Zaddy. Oh, I like when you guys call me Zaddy. Check out Victoria's comment about Schwartz and Sandy's closing. She's wild. What did she say? Where am I going to even go to find that? But thank you. Please keep the comments on Spotify coming. Sarah Oliver says, I'm glad you say about Garcelle. I've always thought that she had nothing. No one else talks about it. Thank you. Debbie Barnes says, so handsome and dark here. Never go back. Oh, you like the dark hair. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. Daddy Zack loves it. I won't work my daddy here. I call her daddy, but I'm gonna be my own call her daddy. All right, guys, give me a follow at Just Plain Zack or follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. One last shout out to Oliver Leo Luca, who writes on Amazon Podcasts. Writes, amazing pod. Love listening to my favorite ever, Zack Peter. He's been my go-to since I started listening to podcasts. Now I'm a daily listener and I can't get enough. I go to him for comic relief, relatability, and obviously to talk reality TVT, but I'm beyond impressed with his most recent pods regarding the election. He speaks the truth based on facts. He's respectful with his opinions, all while finding a way to make me laugh. Zack, keep up the good work. If you don't listen to the pod, well, Janelle, get on it. Thank you, Oliver. Guys, please keep leaving the reviews. I'll keep shouting you out. I love you. I appreciate you. Follow me at Just Plain Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. Catch a new episode of the Pop Report this Wednesday, and I will talk to you later, skaters. Bye.